we've got a special Christmas cover for One Punch Man Chapter 198 titled Habit. Tatsumaki's raising her cuteness levels and has a special gift for everyone. Meanwhile, Santa Saitama is using Rover and Watchdog Man as reindeers. After having their duel interrupted by the Heavenly Ninja Party, Flashy Flash and Speedo Sound Sonic decided to team up and take them down. Flashy Flash asked if these guys were the underlings of that man, the founder of the Ninja Village and Blast's former sidekick that joined God, Empty Void. And by join God, I don't mean he's dead. He's been gone for a long time, but that's because Blast gave him a beating after he received power from God. Sonic confirmed Flash's suspicions. He added that even with the village gone, these fools didn't have the willpower necessary to do anything else with their lives. They were loyal dogs for life. And with this context, I can see why both Flashy Flash and Sonic hate how obedient Genos is towards Saitama. Violent Force turned and called on Galewind and Hellfire Flame. They were going to attack first as the Vanguard group. Destructive Devastation began chuckling with him as they told the two nervous ninjas to do the honors by creating an opening between their opponents. Hellfire knew that the Heavenly Ninjas were planning to kill them along with Flash and Sonic, but they had a plan to turn things in their favor and make their fellow shinobi regret using them like this. Flash discreetly told Sonic that they would be leading the others into attacking them all at once. Considering they were so dependent on the village's teachings, he expected them to be awful at working together. He remembered a ninja with a mohawk and a tank top, which obviously makes him stronger, telling them all not to think of each other as comrades. That if they meet one another after their graduation, it would be for the sake of killing each other. By waiting for them to get in each other's way, they would be given a ton of openings to capitalize on. Sonic was smug. He didn't need Flash to spell it out for him. A moment later, and their enemies were on the move. Sonic and Flash split up. Sonic began recounting the village's teachings too. They were taught that when dealing with multiple targets, they should focus their efforts on killing the weakest one first and working their way up to the stronger threats. Based on that, there was no doubt in his mind that Flashy Flash would be attacked first. After all, he was sure that they saw his duel with Flashy Flash moments ago. And you know, we saw that too, and I don't remember Sonic doing anything overly impressive, so I really wonder if he's just that delusional. Either way, Sonic let out a reluctant sigh. Seeing as it couldn't be helped, he decided that he would cover for his inferior comrade for a bit. But just then, practically all of the ninjas surrounded Sonic with their weapons drawn. And the face that he's making here is hilarious. His head is completely empty. He was beyond shocked by this. Suddenly, he was repelling the blades of more than a dozen S-Class level ninjas. Sonic was infuriated and blamed their tunnel vision. He would never forgive them for this insult. Meanwhile, Wind and Fire were back to the Team Rocket shenanigans as they used connecting wires. Surrounding Flashy Flash with them, they used Joro Spider Curtain Gallows. Violent Force was shocked. They purposely deviated from the village's teachings and went after the stronger opponent, Flashy Flash. That way, they were able to avoid being torn apart by the others, and thanks to their poisonous wires, they can keep Flashy Flash from moving at high speed. The Teninto members were terrible at working together and kept getting in each other's way. Taking advantage of that would be their best bet and chance to escape. Speaking of escape, Flashy Flash got out of the enclosure by diving in and out of the trash. The ninja duo could not believe it, but just as quickly, their wires were used against them and they became tied up. From behind, several blades raced towards Sonic. His anger continued to rise, but before he could counter, Flashy Flash intercepted with a sword-shattering kick. Sonic made it clear that he did not need Flash's help, but the S-Class hero replied that Sonic was the one who suggested that they work together in the first place. Also, Sonic's nose was bleeding. Now back to back, the two batted away countless strikes. Sonic began to say that even without Flash's help, then he rolled over Flash's back to take on the other side. He could easily beat these guys. And they continued to battle fiercely. Shrieking Scream was thrown off. These guys were in the middle of arguing, but were in perfect harmony. To Ballistic Bullet, it was as if the two had been training to work together for a long time, which is a testament to how closely they worked together back during their village days. Wind and Fire have taken an L yet again. Flash called them small fry and told them to stay down without causing any more trouble. Since their threads were poisonous, they might die if they struggle and cut themselves by accident. Sonic wondered why Flash wouldn't just finish the two idiots off himself. Flash explained that when he fought them in the Monster Association's hideout, they were monsters. He was hoping that they could be test samples that would bring them closer to undoing monsterization. Lucky for them, Flashy Flash was introduced to those experiments just before this encounter. Flashy Flash added that if all goes well, maybe that man would open his eyes and the whole picture would change. None of the ninjas knew what he was talking about. Flashy Flash darkly mocked their ignorance. And the chapter abruptly ends there. This is the fourth really short chapter in a row. It seems like Murata is currently busy with a bunch of other projects, so he doesn't have enough time to drop the usual 30-page bangers. He's apparently working on an indie anime project called Zayuki. And the moment I saw the baddie with the gun and short shorts, I understood why the chapters have gotten shorter. We all know that Murata loves drawing female characters. He'll even bring back characters like Do S and Mosquito Girl, who should absolutely be dead, just so he can bless us with the cover pages. Now, based on how this chapter ended, it honestly seems like one normal length chapter has been broken up into multiple parts. That being said, I'm grateful to be getting anything at all. So many of the stories I've enjoyed over the years have gone on lengthy hiatuses. So I can't be mad when we're still getting regular doses of One Punch Man greatness. There's also been some talk about the art being less impressive these days, and listen man, Murata on his worst day is still leagues ahead of most. He is arguably the greatest manga artist of all time, and I'd like to think that if it really came down to it, that is an argument that I would be able to win. Kinda like how Flashy Flash and Sonic are pretty much guaranteed to win here. On paper, all of these ninjas are S-class level, but not all S-class characters are created equal. Their lack of teamwork makes them pretty pathetic as opponents. Meanwhile, Blast and Saitama should be dealing with that man. Since the guy has history with Blast, it's more likely that he'll be the one to show off a bit. If Saitama does, it'll have to look like a fluke. Otherwise, Blast will know about his power, and it's probably too soon for that. Although, a hint towards his connection with God would be pretty crazy. But yeah, even though it was a short one, I hope you guys enjoyed the video all the same. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.